Hey folks, Silly's here. Alright, so this is like I'm asking for advice of sorts from people, and it has nothing to do with Tibia. I'm not doing anything remotely productive in the game. I'm just gonna go kill animals for food so that I can make enchanted spears while I speak. So if you're here to actually watch a Tibia video, go away. It's not happening, and I'm eventually going to delete this video. Probably, I think. So if you're here just to watch Tibia stuff, don't watch this. This is just going to be me explaining something and then asking people's advice. So, yeah, everybody who's not here for that, go away. Alright, so, basically, I've got this situation, right? And I'm not sure how I want to handle it. So I'm going to lay it out here for you guys, and then I'll kind of see some other people's perspectives. I ran it by my friend, and I ran it by my mom, and I haven't had a chance to run it by anybody else whose opinion I, care about. So, I'm not sure how I want to handle it. Surprisingly enough, though, my friend, who's kind of meh, and then my mom, who's kind of conservative and everything, were both yeah, you should do the same thing. So I'm gonna list my situation here, alright? Again, I'm sorry for doing this, but I'm really unsure of how I should handle the situation. So, as you guys know, right? I work at this gas station, and I work third shift, which means I work midnight, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. most of the time. Alright, and I don't know if I've ever explicitly stated all of this or not, but across the street from my gas station is a bar. Down the street from my gas station is a rehab clinic, and heroin is a big drug in my area. And, down the street in the opposite direction is, a outpatient mental, psychiatry facility. And then, the other street in the opposite direction is a correctional facility, aka a prison. Literally, don't think I've ever been in here. Strange. Why am I wasting my EXP? Actually, let's stop doing this. Sorry. I can't just do things. I apologize. So, alright. So that's my situation with work. Now, when I work third shift, I'm the only person there for the entirety of my shift up until the last, hour and a half. I come in at 10, and there's two other cashiers, and then they both leave, immediately, and then I take over. And then I work by myself with nobody else in the store. No manager, nobody in the back room, no, night crew or anything like that. Just me. I work there until somebody else comes in at, 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock, depending on different days. And then manager comes in at around 5 o'clock, is how it works, okay? So, last night was the 4th of July, and very close to where my store is, they do fireworks, at an elementary school, actually. And it also rained last night, so I wasn't sure if the fireworks were getting canceled. Afterwards, a whole bunch of people came into the store right as I was there, so it was very busy. And one of the people was this dude who I saw, pushing a metal cart that had a whole bunch of stuff that looked like a blanket and, a jacket and some bags in it. The kind of things that if you, took your family to go watch fireworks when the ground might be wet, you would bring. So that's what I assumed this dude did. I thought nothing else of this guy, alright? It wasn't until he went to go buy a milkshake and he asked me which flavor I thought was better that he actually, came into my forefront of my mind, and I thought he looked a little skeevy. Or, skeevy being, I don't know, just Google the word if you don't know what I mean by it. But he was, polite. I have no problems with the people, and, I don't judge people, really. Yeah, okay, so I just determined he was skeevy, but, I'm not gonna, be rude to this man because of anything like that. I'm just gonna be this is my assessment of this person. But, if he's polite to me, I'll be polite to him. I got no problems with that. So, he pays for his smoothie. He was, short, 6 cents or something like that, so I just gave him the 6 cents, no problems. Whatever. Alright, so, then everybody else kind of leaves, and he's still there, and I notice he's now been in the store for maybe, a little bit of time. Maybe, 45 minutes. So he says to me, he goes, yo, do you take Xanax? And, Xanax is, an antidepressant, I guess. But that, I guess, I don't know, has a bunch of crazy effects on people if you take too much of it or something like that. So people use it as, an actual, recreational drug. I don't do recreational drugs. At all. Personally. It's not my thing. I mean, if you want to smoke pot or do whatever, it's fine. I don't care. Whatever. Do whatever you're gonna do. I don't take Xanax either, though. So I said no, like, I don't do Xanax, and because I didn't want to be like, yeah, I don't, like, do that, I just was like, I can't afford that crap, which is also true. I can't afford that crap. Although he did then point out that Xanax isn't nearly as expensive as I would have assumed. But anyway, so he says to me, he goes, oh yeah, I take Xanax all the time, and it makes me like crazy. I don't know why, like, because it doesn't affect anybody else like this, but it makes me go crazy when I take Xanax. I'm like, yeah? And he's like, yeah, you know, when I take it, like, I just lose all track of myself, and like, you know, I'll wake up like 2 days later and just be like, I have no idea what happened. I'm like, that's not good, man. He's like, yeah, well, you know. And then, like, you know, I wake up and I'm, like, surrounded by things that, like, aren't mine. I don't know where they came from. Or I wake up and I just can't find any of my stuff. Like, my phone's gone, my shoes are gone. I'm like, that's not good either. He's like, yeah, so, like, you know, just the other day, like, I took the Xanax, and I just woke up, like, earlier today and was just like, dude, like, I don't know where my stuff is, but, like, I just lost $500 worth of drugs. And I'm like, oh, like, that's not good. Now, I should point out that while I described where my gas station is, I'm actually in a, like, relatively wealthy area. And while, like, I say heroin is the big drug in my area, it's not the big drug in my specific neighborhood, or the neighborhood where my gas station is. Like I said, I'm in a relatively wealthy area. So, like, this dude just losing $500 worth of drugs is kind of crazy. So I'm like, yeah, well, that's not good, dude. And he's like, yeah, but, you know, drinking this milkshake, it just, like, popped into my mind. I remember where I left it. I'm like, yeah? He's like, yeah, I live in, like, Kensington, which is this, like, really crime-infested area of, like, center Philly. He's like, yeah, I live in, like, Kensington, and when I was going crazy with the Xanax, like, I went into the woods in a park. Like, you know, and just dug a hole underneath some trees and buried my drugs, and I left a pack of, like, an empty pack of cigarettes by the tree so I could, like, find it. I'm like, oh, that's strange. He's like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm like, okay. So he goes, well, you know, and, like, I just remember that now, but when I, like, you know, came back from my, like, drug binge, I was like, you know, I should really go into rehab. So he's like, you know, I came here from Kensington to go to this rehab clinic because I heard good things about this rehab clinic, which makes sense because it's in, like, a wealthier area. So he's like, yeah, you know, like, I got clean a couple of times before, but, you know, it's always, like, one bad day, and, you know, you like, oh, I just gotta take this to forget about my crappy day. Or he's like, or, you know, it's the opposite. You have a really good day, and you're like, I'm gonna celebrate. He's like, and then, you know, the next thing you know, you're, like, living on the side of the street again. I'm like, oh, yeah, like, that's crazy. So, you know, look, we're talking. And he's telling me about, like, you know, all the drugs he does. He does, like, heroin and stuff like this. And I'm, like, looking at him. And, yeah, like, okay, he's skeevy. He's, like, really thin-looking, like, haggard. He's got, like, you know, bruises on his face. And he's got a scar running from behind his ear, like, across his head and then down to his eyebrow. It's, like, a 6-inch scar. Like, this guy looks like he's from, like, you know, a fantasy TV show where, like, he got into a sword fight and got hit in the head with, like, an axe or something. Like, I've never actually seen anybody with a facial scar quite like this. And it looked like the area on his forehead, his hair was buzz cut, but the area on his forehead still looked kind of raw, like it was red. Not like it was bleeding, but, like, it looked like it was a recent occurrence. So, you know, this guy informed me that he got shot once, and he's telling me all about, like, his drug deals, and his drug dealing, because he used to sell drugs. That's how he got all his money. He stopped doing that, though, and just started, like, he turned to petty crime. So he's, like, telling me how he steals things from, like, Home Depots. And, like, I should point out that while this guy's telling me all this crazy stuff, he's highly intelligent sounding. He's very eloquent as he speaks. Like, he's got a very, like, robust vocabulary, kind of like I'm just speaking right now. Like, this is a guy that, like, isn't out of his mind. He's not, like, a thug or a gangster. He's not, like, ignorant or anything. Like, this is a person that if, you know, you clean him up a little bit, put him on, like, a wig so that it hid the scar and put him in a suit, you would mistake this guy for, like, a businessman or, like, a lawyer or a doctor or something. Like, this was a really highly intelligent human being. And, like, I would know because, like, you know, I'm generally consider myself an intelligent being, too. Like, I was, you know, as far as drug dealers go, like, this was really impressive. So, you know, alright. So this is what this guy is doing, right? So he's telling me about this, and, you know, he's telling me all about his, like, his drug deals and stuff like that, and then he's, you know, telling me about, he tells me the story where he went into a Wendy's to get, a Frosty, which is their, like, milkshake stuff, and then he went into the bathroom to, like, shoot up with heroin, and And then, like, a guy followed him in, and, like, long story short, this dude, like, propositioned him, and then when he was like, dude, no, I'm, like, not gay, the dude tried to, like, rape him, and he had to fight his way out of the bathroom past this dude. And he's like, yeah, ever since then, I've been, like, super nervous with going into, like, public restrooms and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, and then my, like, drug dealer was this Mexican guy named Poppy. Well, that was, his name was Carlos, but we called him Poppy. He was like, I was showing him all these pictures of me with my girlfriend. He's like, in one of the pictures, like, I'm naked in it. And then Poppy's like, oh, you're attractive without clothes. Like, why don't we go into the basement and I'll give you free drugs? And I'm like, whoa, okay, you know. And he's like, yeah, I'm, like, not into that, though. So I had to keep telling him no. And then I had to get, like, a new drug dealer. So, like, 2 separate times he mentioned how he's, like, terrified of people, like, of men going after him, right? Okay. So he's telling me all about, like, these fights he got in, the scar on his head, the gunshot wound he's got. He showed me the gunshot wound. It's on his chest. He got shot in the shoulder. Like, you know, he's telling me all this stuff. And he's talking to me from, like, 11:30 to, like, 2 o'clock in the morning. And, like, I can't ask him to leave. Like, I mean, I technically could, but, like, you know, that's rude. And also, I'm kind of afraid of this guy. Like, he's legitimately scary. He has done nothing to threaten me. He hasn't said anything that would, like, make me think I'm actually in danger. But, like, this is a highly intelligent person that's been in violent altercations and is very involved with crime. And I'm gonna pause real quick. Sorry, that was my phone ring. So, like, you know, this guy's, like... it's like being in a room with a person just holding a gun. Like, the person's polite to you, they're not threatening you, but they're holding a gun, and you're scared because of that. So, like, you know, I'm kind of, like, nervous with this whole guy. So at, like, 2:30, and at, like, around 2 o'clock to 2:30, he'd be talking to me, and he'd start, like, wobbling and kind of, like, almost dozing off as he's speaking. And he was like, dude, like, the Xanax kept me awake for, like, 3 days. I haven't slept. I'm, like, so tired. I just want to get to the rehab place, but, like, it's raining. I don't want to push my stuff through the rain. And, like, he's like, oh, I'm, like, falling asleep here. You probably think I'm crazy. And I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. I don't think you're crazy. So he says to me at, like, 2:30, he's like, dude, I'm going to go to the rehab, but first I'm going to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, alright. So, like, he goes into the bathroom, and he doesn't come back out. Alright. So, like, this isn't the first time a person has fallen asleep in our bathroom. Like, it happens. Like, I mean, like, yeah, okay, like, technically I can call the cops in this situation, and, like, they can wake the person up and escort them out of the building. But, like, what are the cops aren't going to actually take him somewhere. They're just going to, like, escort him out of the building, get him off the property, and then, like, maybe drive him to the bus stop or something like that. I mean, like, there's nothing to stop him from coming back to the store, for starters. Besides, I guess, like, you know, fear of additional penalties at that point. And, like, you know, like, this dude hasn't actually wronged me. And like I said, he's been polite to me the whole time. In fact, when I went to clean the grill, he actually helped me clean the grill, which was kind of strange. But whatever. Like, so this dude has, like, not wronged me in any way, but I'm still, like, legitimately afraid of this dude. So, like, you know, he just falls asleep in the bathroom. And I do nothing. So, at, 4:30, my next coworker comes in. He's supposed to come in at 4, but he was late. He came in at, like, 4:30. This guy's name is, I'm just gonna call him Troy. So I'm like, yo, Troy, just so you know, there's, like, a dude probably tripping out on Xanax for sleeping in the bathroom. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you know, and, like, I tell him, like, a condensed version of what I just told you guys. And he's like, oh, yeah, like, whatever. I'm like, alright. You know, like, I told somebody who knows more than me, because, like, I don't know what to do in this situation. I'm not going into the bathroom to check on this guy. Because, like, he's on drugs. He's afraid of people following him into bathrooms specifically. And, like, you know, I'm there by myself. Like, I'm getting paid $8.50 an hour. And that's after 2 raises. Like, that's not enough money for me to get stabbed by a druggie. Like, I'm not looking to die tonight, right? It's like, I'm not going in after him. And I'm not calling the cops because he hasn't actually done anything wrong. And I'm not, like, having the cops drag him out. Plus, even if the cops drag him out, like, I'm the only person in the store, he's gonna know it was me. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, is he gonna come back for vengeance or something? Like, I don't want to do that. So, like, I just, you know, I ignore him. He wasn't causing any kind of problems. I let him sleep in the bathroom. So, at, like, 5 o'clock, my manager, Amber, comes in. And Amber is the one that's kind of like treated me like crap for a while now, and she treats everybody like crap, but she's treated me like crap also, and I'm not a big fan of Amber. So she comes in at 5. I say to her around, like, I don't know, like 5:20 or something like that. I'm like, oh, like, by the way, there's like a dude tripping out on Xanax in the bathroom sleeping. Like, I don't know what you want me to do about that. And then she's like, what? And like, I explain the same situation to her, give her like a condensed version, because we're like running the cash registers now. And she's like, what do you mean he's in the bathroom? Like, why didn't you call the cops? And I'm like, oh, because he didn't do anything wrong. And she's like, that doesn't matter, call the cops. I'm like, well, I also didn't call the cops because I don't want him to know it was me that was calling the cops. She's like, well, then go in there and like tell him to get out. I'm like, well, I'm also not doing that. And then I tell her about how he's specifically afraid of people following him in the bathrooms and raping him. like, yeah, like I'm not doing that. So she starts like yelling at me, right? And I'm like getting kind of upset because like, you know, I like legitimately don't know what I'm supposed to do in this situation. And like, yeah, alright, I could have called the cops and they could have drug him out and it's not that big of a deal. I could have like called somebody else, but like he wasn't hurting anybody, and I'm just, you know, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, I could have handled the situation better, I suppose, but like, I don't know what the official policy on this is. And like, I know, for instance, our official policy on shoplifters is we do nothing with shoplifters. We don't call the cops, we don't ask them to leave, we don't confront them, we do nothing. Because if you confront a person and A, they like stab you, the company's liable. And if you confront a person and then they weren't shoplifting, they can sue you for like defamation, and it makes the company look awful. So we don't do anything for shoplifters. Now, if like I call the cops on this dude because he's been in the bathroom too long, and the cops come and drag him out of the bathroom, and he just has diarrhea and he poops all over the floor, he's definitely gonna sue us. So like, she's all like yelling at me. My like the food service manager comes in with like her husband, and he goes to go in the bathroom, and then he comes out and he's like, by the way, there's like a person in the bathroom. So we're all like, all right, it's still the same guy in the bathroom. So she calls the cops. I like explain, like I'm giving her all the details while she's on the phone with like, I guess 911. All right, so the cops come. Like I go out, I tell the cops what's going on, and the cops are like, well, why didn't you call earlier? And I'm like, because he didn't do anything wrong necessarily. Like, and he purchased food. Like, the dude was polite. The dude purchased food. He was a paying customer. Like, yeah, I understand that paying customer doesn't get you like access to my store for that like unlimited amount of time, but like, you know, I don't want to throw him out in the rain. I'm trying to be like a nice person, and also, again, I'm like kind of afraid of this person. So the cops are like, oh, you should have like. So they go into the bathroom, and then like they just stay in the bathroom. I guess like they're questioning him, and they don't want to like drag him out. So they're in the bathroom for like 10 minutes or something like that. Meanwhile, my manager just keeps yelling at me the whole time, and she's just like almost cursing at me, being like, you're an idiot. Like, I can't believe you would effing do this and stuff like that. By the way, I don't curse in my videos, so that's why I said effing. It's like, I'm like really upset with this situation, and like the food service manager is trying to like interject and like give me legitimate advice. So she's like, you know, like, there goes my phone again. Hold on a second. That is actually my place of employment calling me, and I'm gonna keep continuing to ignore them because it'll ruin my my go right now. By the way, it's like 2:47 p.m. I should be asleep by now because, like, you know, I need to wake up at 10 before 10. That's obviously not happening, but it's all cool because I already called out of work. I do need to respond to that dude. Give me 1 sec. Hold on a sec. 1 sec. Alright, that's cool. I can deal with that. So, like, she's trying to be like, look, if this kind of thing happens again, like, call a manager. I'm like, well, you want me to call a manager at 3 in the morning? Like, the managers come in at 5. Like, I don't want to interfere with their limited sleep already. And, like, again, I don't want to call the manager and be like, yo, there's a guy in the bathroom. He's been in there for, like, a really long time. Do you want to come in and call the cops for me? And then just have it be a person that's constipated or something. Or, like, throwing up. We also, like I said, we have a bar across the street. People come in and then throw up in our bathroom all the time. Like, this isn't the first time that a dude has fallen asleep for an extended period of time in our bathroom. And also, like, one time I did get the cops there, and the cops escorted the person out, and then he was back in the store, like, a day later doing the exact same thing. So, like, you know, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this situation. So she's trying to, like, tell me what I should, like, legitimately do, and she's like, look, if it's ever a problem again, like, I live really close by, just call me, I'll take care of it. But the other manager, like, keeps, like, yelling at me. And is, like, calling me incompetent and stuff like that. And I'm getting, like, really upset. And then she's, like, she comes up to me and she's like, look, you know, like, you have to go in there and, like, check on people like this. If he had OD'd in the bathroom, like, we would have had to close the store for, like, a day. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, I guess that would suck. Like, we'd lose a day of sales if that guy died in the bathroom. But, like, you know, if I went into the bathroom and then he flipped out and, like, bit off my throat or something like that, or stabbed me because he thought I was trying to rape him, I'd be dead, and then we'd still have to close the store, and then you'd also not have a third shift person in the future. And more importantly, I'd be dead. And you're not paying me more. You're paying me $8.50, not enough for me to risk my life for this crappy company. I'm not even getting a night differential. And you guys aren't even, like, treating me with, like, respect like I should get as a human being. You know, like, I'm getting really upset that they're yelling at me. And she keeps, like, pointing out how, like, I could have hurt the company's, like, reputation and stuff like that. She's like, well, what if a customer had gone in there and then, like, he attacked the customer? I'm like, honestly, I'm not a cop. Like, I'm not a bodyguard. Like, if it comes down to it and a customer getting attacked in the bathroom or me getting attacked in the bathroom, I'm kind of going with the customer getting attacked in the bathroom. I'm sorry. Like, you know, if anybody came in and people come in and ask me, I'd be like, yeah, there's a bathroom, but there's a guy in it. You should use the women's bathroom or something like that. You know, like... So she keeps yelling at me. Finally, the cops come out, and they're, like, dragging him out in handcuffs, and he's, like, yelling at the cops. So I hide behind the counter so he doesn't see me. So, like, they take him out, and then, like, you know, the manager kind of goes into the office, and I, like, stick my head in the bathroom to see what's going on. And they're, like, packaging all these heroin needles that he, like, left behind. And they're like, yeah, we got, like, 2 counts of paraphernalia, but we didn't find any drugs on him. I'm like, alright. So, like, the cops also are kind of, like, being like, you should have called us. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but, like, you know, again... like, I didn't feel safe, and I don't know what the policy is. So, I'm, like, super upset with the whole situation. Like, the whole situation stressed me out. When they, like, decided to call the cops, I was very stressed out. Then, like, everybody's kind of yelling at me, and I'm even more stressed out. So, like, I'm like, you know, and I'm already 15 minutes late for leaving now. So I'm like, look, I just, like, I want to go home and get this behind me. So, like, I go into the office, so, like, because that's where I have to clock out. And the office is, like, the size of a normal, like, bathroom. Very, very tiny. And when you open up the door, immediately once you open up the door, there is the, like, counter desk where the manager, or in this case, the assistant manager, sits. So, like, if you, like, walked in quickly, you would just, like, step on her, basically. So, like, I open up the door to go, like, clock out, and I'm carrying my drink, and there's, like, a little box where we can put our cups. So, like, I open up the door, and she's on the phone, and she's like, yeah, and the guy was in there for, like, 3 hours, and then she, like, turns and looks at me and, like, sees that I'm standing right there, and she's like, and that effing idiot just didn't do anything. Like, he didn't call the cops. So I'm like, wow, I can't believe she's still, like, talking about me while I'm standing here. So, like, I walk past her, put my thing down, and now I'm, like, behind her. And she goes, yeah, she's just an effing joke. And then I just walk back out, and I go to the food service person, I'm like, yo, like, I can't clock out because she's on the phone, like, bad-mouthing me to, I guess, like, the district advisor or something. Can you get me clocked out? So she goes in, like, gets her off the phone so I can clock out. I, like, leave. I'm, like, still super upset. Like, my uncle picks me up. I call him. He comes, picks me up. He, like, drops me home. I'm, like, all stressed out about this. He goes to drop money off at the bank, right? And on his way back, he, like, comes in the house, and he's like, yo, did the dude... Because, like, I told him about the whole situation. He's like, was the junkie, like, wearing gray sweatpants, a black shirt with, like, a buzz-cut head? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, the police released him already, and he's, like, back at your gas station. And I'm like, of course he is, because the cops left his stuff at the gas station. They didn't take it with them. So after they released him and charged him with 2 counts of, like, possessing drug paraphernalia, they just allowed him to go back to the store to get his stuff. So, like, now I know he's back on the street. He knows where he got, like, arrested at. Like, I don't know, like... And now I'm, like, super concerned. I'm like, yo, is this dude gonna come back and kill me? Like, I mean, it's possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible. And I feel like whenever my odds of getting murdered aren't 0, I'm highly concerned about the situation. So, I'm, like, super upset with this whole situation. So, like, I say to my friend, I'm like, dude, what do you think I should do? He's like, I would quit. I would call out. Like, I definitely would not go to work today. Like, yeah, you probably have, like, what, maybe, like, 1-2% chance of him coming back in and having a confrontation, and maybe if he comes back in, it's like, you know, I mean, he's probably not gonna kill you, he might just yell at you, but, like, yeah, it's still way too likely. Plus, even if he comes in and just yells or something like that, that's still uncomfortable. And I'm like, yeah, it's not like I can reason with him, he's a crazy drug addict. I mean, he's intelligent, but he's still a drug addict. So he's like, yeah, I would quit. So I'm like, dude, alright. I mean, like, he's always kind of, like, meh it's not a big deal. So I'm like, my mom's usually conservative. Let me like call her up and ask her. So I talked to my mom, and she's like, yeah, I'd quit. Like, not doing that. So I just quit. But on the other hand, like, I already really don't like this place, and while that is an incentive to quit anyway, I also feel like it's tainting my, like, opinion and making me, like, way more upset about the situation. Like, if I had a good relationship with everybody and this happened, I would be like, yeah, I mean, you know, like, this kind of thing happens or something like that, and, you know, it's just like a fluke. I mean, I feel like I would never be okay with them yelling at me quite like that, and also in front of customers. They yell at me in front of customers. But, like, I don't know, I do feel like my already bad opinion of the store, and my opinion that has been, like, falling quickly once the new management team came in, is, like, even more so, like, affecting my opinion, making me biased. So, I don't know. Like, should I quit? Should I not quit? I called out today. And, like, I called out, and I was just like, I actually, like, I talked to the food service person. I was like, yo, is the manager there? Because I want to talk to the, like, official manager. And, she was like, no, she's not in today. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can't come in. She's like, oh, why? I'm like, I'm sick. And she said, oh, okay. And that was the end of the conversation. So, like, she knows I'm upset. I'm like, do I just quit at this point? Do I not? And, like, so she actually, like, I spoke to her kind of right before I started doing this video. And, like, I kind of laid down, like, I didn't say I want to quit, but I said how, like, I'm incredibly unhappy with everything. And I made it pretty obvious that I'm considering quitting. So, since I was on, like, making this video, work called me. She called me back the second time, and then another number, which I guess would probably be the official manager, called. But, like, I don't know. I feel highly unsafe at this business now. Like, even without this specific situation with this guy, like, this kind of stuff happens a little bit too often. And while nothing bad has happened specifically yet, like, I don't want to keep, like, playing Russian roulette for this crappy job that makes me miserable at the best of times, and that also pays me, like, an insultingly low amount of money. So, like, I don't feel safe, and then, like, they treat me like dirt all the time, and now I also know exactly how little they view, like, my importance and stuff like that. Like, she specifically, like, was like, I don't care what happens to you. We don't want to, like, have to shut down the store because a guy OD'd in the bathroom. So, I don't know, people. I'm just asking for advice. You guys think I should quit? Tough it out? Like, you know, let it blow over? Do you think I'm overreacting? Like, because I could be overreacting, I suppose. Like, it's possible. Like, I don't know. I could be overreacting. I could be overreacting. I could be, like, it's not that big of a deal. I could be, like, you know, just whining because I'm, like, stressed out and, you know, like, panicky. Maybe the whole situation with the guy wasn't actually that, like, bad in the first place, and, like, I'm overreacting to that. Like, it's not like I deal with a lot of drug dealers in my, like, day-to-day life, so, like, I don't know. Like, you know, I'm all, like, a sheltered kid and whatnot. I don't know. I'm not a kid, but, like, I'm all sheltered and stuff. I don't know. Like, am I, like, I could totally see that I'm overreacting to the situation with this guy. And, like, I could be overreacting to a lot of things. I don't know. Like, do you think I should quit? Do you think I should tough it out? Do you think I should tough it out until I can find another job? But it's not like I haven't been looking for another job, but working third shift kind of, like, makes that incredibly difficult. Like, personally, I'm kind of think I'm, like, I want to quit, but I also have to admit that I'm possibly looking for an excuse to quit, and this is just the excuse. I still feel like, even if that is sort of the case, I still feel like this whole situation is so absurd that, like, it's still an absurd situation. Maybe not quit-worthy, but still absurd, and I feel justified in being angry. I don't know. Alright, folks, so that's the situation. I'm just asking your advice. I'll probably delete this video later on. I'm sorry I had to, like, drop this all on you right now and everything. Actual Tibia videos will be up in the future. I've got them already up. I just gotta, like, process them and stuff. It's just a hassle. Anyway, I'm just sad. I'm done for now. Bye-bye.